There's no absolute anymore. Your truth may not be my truth. What you think is true, don't impose on me because I might have my own idea of truth. Now, I have a problem with that. Because suddenly, we lose absolute standards. And by following the Word, loving God, following Him, obeying His Word, we have to accept as truth what God says is true. There are many things there, but the most basic thing is that before we go to man, God first. God is holy and just. True or false? Has to be true. Because if your answer there is false, let's stop talking. You can step out. It's okay. Because nothing else will make sense to you. I won't take it against you. But you have to be convinced first that God is holy and just. And He knows what He's doing. He's omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. He's all this. And He reveals Himself to us through the Word. So check your list of beliefs, your belief system. Take a look. Which ones of these belief systems are actually not in accordance with God's Word? Is there something you have to change? Now you're starting to see why it is important for us to hold the Bible as our standard for living, because everything else goes haywire if your standard is different. So, in obedience, we love God. By how? Following His commandments as revealed in the Bible, not as the world reveals. And by the way, the world will also use biblical words like love. This movement of acceptance of anything and everything is actually justified by love, right? Because don't offend people. But that is a distortion of God's truth. That is a distortion of what love is. Love has to be based on God first. And that's why I started with God is holy and just, because there are certain things that are not just. And God clearly says that is not right. And if God says so, we have to believe Him that it's true. This is not blind loyalty. This is not blind obedience. But this is obedience first by accepting that God is God and He knows what He's doing. Because if you do not have that inkling, if you do not have that automatic default mode of obeying Him, then He may not be God in truth to you. He might just be God in name. Because if He is truly God, He deserves our worship. Next, we love God by trusting Him. We trust God when we rely on His guidance and provisions in all circumstances. When we find ourselves in a tough situation, who do we turn to first? Ourselves? Our friends? Our influential contacts? Or do we turn first to God in prayer? You know, trusting is inherent in man. It's there for us. Let's go along. How about worship? We love God by worshiping Him. When we worship God, we express reverence and adoration to Him. We behold His glory. We try to imagine how great He is. You know how easy it is to see the greatness of God? Especially you here in Ebenezer. When you, at night, if you're allowed to go out of your dorm, look up at the sky. Did you see just how many stars there are? Did you bother trying to count them? Don't try. You won't succeed. But the enormity and the